to hear a racially black British person describe Africans and Nigerians. Caribbeans were in England first, then came the Africans. And I don't think people give Africans, these racially black Africans, enough credit for their divisiveness, their vitriol, and their ugly behaviors. They are very problematic in many cases. So is David O. I believe his recent apology is disingenuous. Now, I know that a lot of times the Caribbeans in the UK and the Africans in the UK, they team up and they talk badly about or at us, but they squabble a lot. When Africans arrived there, problems started occurring. And Africans, again, do not get enough credit for their ugly ways. 154 podcast had David O on there. And prior to him, I saw people making content about Bozama or whatever that lady's name is with the disfigured mouth. She lied and said pretty much that Ghanaians and Africans didn't participate in selling other racially black Africans. There's evidence of it in the writings and what the Ghanaian chiefs or whatever those people were said when they gave out an apology. So she just sat up there and lied, right? So Africans are problematic a lot of times, and they don't want to be talked about when they misbehave. Again, I don't celebrate the mistreatment of any group of people, but these people need to be called out. And a lot of times they don't want to be called out. They just want to do dirt and not be called out for it. So listen to this racially black man from the UK, what he describes. And that is exactly who they are, these racially black Africans, many of them.
Laws of immigration are changing because immigrants just don't know how to shut the fuck up. I promise you that. Especially you Nigerians. You guys come here, things that people have been doing for years, patterns that you guys have been doing for years. You discover the internet, you discover content, you start yapping your mind, yappy, chapa, 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 chapa. Ruin the play for everyone else, bro. Do you understand? You guys talk too much about things you don't need to be talking about. You don't need to be making videos about. Are you the only immigrant? Are you the first immigrant? Are you the first person to do something in the UK? And
David Oyelowo, I think that's the correct pronunciation. I'm not sure. I'll call him David O from this point. He has since apologized, since making fun of the Southern accent, calling it subservient, right? He tried to elevate the Nigerian accent, bringing it down to a Southern Black American dialect. An accent. There are various Black American accents. There are various Southern accents. Various Southern Black American accents. The vernacular can switch up a little bit depending on where we are from here in this United States of America. Shame on this dusty ass man, David Oyelowo, stuck his dusty foot in his mouth, leeching off our people at the same time, insulting us, and then trying to talk about togetherness as well on that podcast. These people are problematic and they have no clue. He's mastered the British accent and think he's some sort of judge on the Southern accent, right? He's since apologized. I will get to the apology. But these people have no clue. They're clueless. We're not the same. And then they try to talk about togetherness. They only talk about togetherness because they benefit from us. There is no Pan-Africanism in Africa. You come over here, benefit. You do nothing for our people in great numbers. You only leech on, then talk about togetherness and try to throw out white supremacy, right? And people like him are annoying when they do this. I'm not against interracial marriages. That's not what I'm saying. But people like him sit there married to white people, but yelling about white supremacy. Did his spouse not benefit from white supremacy? How does she feel about him yelling that out of his little dusty mouth? I mean, they only yell that to try to get Black America to feel a certain way because of our history, our ancestors' history in this country. David O could talk about the Nigerian English accent, right? The pidgin. There's a lot that can be said about the billion tongues and babbling Nigeria, right? We don't have to be nice when these people are disrespectful, right? We just don't. We don't have to like that they've come over here and undermine Black American actors and actresses. We want to see ourselves, our people in those roles. We don't want to see someone who has to pretend to not have a British accent be playing us in a role. And I get it. These directors, producers, casting directors put these people in these roles, but you know, it is what it is. Now back to this little man and his apology. I will read it verbatim, but just before I read it, I just want to emphasize that British racially Black person talked about Africans that came or went to England, arrived at England. And these racially Black Africans arrived after the Caribbean wind rush. And even to the Caribbeans, the Africans are problematic. People will not give them credit for the problem that they are. Many of them. That is why Africans are the way they are over there. Right? Historically, that's who they are. The European just exploited it, right? We understand this. So, to the apology, I want to apologize unreservedly to all those who were rightly offended by my comments on the 154 Africa podcast regarding Southern accents. It was the wrong thing to say, and it's not how I feel. I have nothing but deep respect and great love for Black people of all kinds, especially those from the American South. Reducing a dialect born from the richness and resilience of Black Southern culture to anything less was careless and wrong. Now, this man had to do this, I believe. He was advised to do it. Maybe Oprah told him to do it. I don't know, but I do not believe that it's sincere. It is what it is. This dusty little man should have kept his comments to himself on Southern accents. Just be thankful you were able to leech on and reach success, social nurse.